shit anymore. Call it what it is. TikTok is a shopping app now. So if you want to be an affiliate, you want to shop, you want to do reviews, that's good. Content creating, yeah. TikTok's done. And I think that the best way we can send the message to the billionaire wannabe gods that purchased it is to not work on it. Like, get your content, bring it to YouTube, bring it to Instagram, bring it to Facebook, and fuck them. We don't need this crap. Learn that united, we are powerful. One by one, we're nothing, we're nobodies, okay? So let's unite and take a stand together. Let's go on strike. What if nobody posted for a week on TikTok? What would happen to them? Would that force them to pay you again? Okay, start talking about that. Start talking about a global mass content creators.
So guys, I don't know if you've seen this is all over the internet that now TikTok, since they were bought out by the Ellison family, those who own Paramount. I canceled my Paramount subscription, by the way, because the Ellisons, are backing the Republican regime, and they are funding Donald Trump's re-election, and they are trying to take control of all the media. Like right now, they're trying to do that big merger with Netflix, or the merger that Netflix already has done. Well, they already signed the contract for some crazy $1 billion, but Ellisons are trying to do a hostile takeover of Warner Brothers, so then they'll have, besides CBS News, they'll have CNN and MSNBC, and they want to just have basically government sanctioned propaganda stations, and on TikTok now, nobody could say anything bad about the right wing or, right-wing politics, or they get
The reason you're not making any money on TikTok
canceled
anymore is because the creator rewards program.
So next up, I have
TikTok's
this video.
not paying
This
anymore,
guy,
guys. I don't know what to tell you.
he's a huge
Less
creator.
than a year ago, I was making about $1.29 per 1,000 views. Now I'm making anywhere from 28 cents to 40 cents per 1,000 views. And my content structure, rollout, none of it's really changed. There was a guy who just came out and said that he's making only 1 cent per 1,000 views. And he's got over 15 million followers, and he does millions of views per video. Just back in August, I made $5,000 in August just on TikTok. 5,000. Now I'm barely averaging anywhere from $300 to $400 a month. And I think I know what the problem is. I genuinely think that it's the AI content creators, the AI accounts on here that are clip farming and mining other creators' actual content and work, and then repurposing it across dozens of channels, and they are mining money off of the RPM and rewards program from TikTok, and the algorithm's finally just gone, okay, well, then no one is going to get paid. I think that's what's happened, because I've seen the apparently Instagram stopped paying on a creator fund in like 2023, but they're not even inviting people into the pay program anymore, because they had a pay program they would at least invite you into. And Facebook just changed its whole structure on pay too. Now no one's making money on Facebook. YouTube, I never thought I'd say this in 2026, having to go to YouTube probably here just to actually start remonetizing, and even then, like, they're flagging people left and right on YouTube. It's a sinking ship, and I don't know if we should stay on it or just keep using TikTok at least to build our individual.
I'm really only on YouTube, so I don't know, and I don't really make any money on it either. But these guys, like this guy, had millions of followers, 5,000 a month on TikTok. You know how many millions of views you have to get 5,000 a month on TikTok, which, I'm envious. That's great money, but you cannot count on streaming or, making content online as a form of income, not indefinitely. I know there's a lot of, videos and articles out there about creators that did do this, back in 2015, way before I was on YouTube or anything. Even 2010, when I first started watching YouTube videos, and I think YouTube started in 2006, it was easy then. Yeah, there was nobody on there, so it was easy to get eyes and easy to get followers, and YouTube even paid better then. But now, apparently, there's so many creators out there, and I think yeah, it does have something to do with AI, like he's saying, but I think it also, like a lot of these other people in these videos are saying, is it has a lot to do with the Ellison family taking over TikTok. Basically the U.S. government forced ByteDance, I think it's ByteDance, the Chinese company, to sell TikTok to, a U.S. based company, and Trump's friends, the Ellisons, bought it, and now they're not paying creators anymore. Like he said, he used to get $1.29. Every 1,000 views, $1.29. That's a lot of money when you get millions of views. But now that it's pennies, it's a few $100s, and it's not really worth it for him to make videos, because he probably, I'm not familiar with this guy, but I'm sure he has lots of money to make his videos, or spends money. Like even me, I'm small scale. I do my own thing here. I don't have any collaborators. I don't have any editors or anything. But I still have to spend way more money on like internet and equipment and microphones and cameras than I've ever made on YouTube. I do this more as a passion project.
Platform. I know I'm not the only one this is happening to. To go from, making $5,000 to barely scratching 400. Yeah, man, I think the app is on its last legs, taking a nosedive. TikTok's not.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that in the U.S. it does lose its audience, TikTok, because I don't want the Ellisons. I think we should do away with billionaires. I don't think we need to be getting them any richer by, basically they paid like some insane low amount of money, like in the tens of billions for TikTok, but compared to the audience TikTok has, the U.S. government basically forced ByteDance or whatever, ByteDance I think it is, to sell it.
I want to show you guys exactly how hard TikTok is screwing over creators right now. So this is the best month I've had on the Creator Rewards program back in
That's a pretty good
September.
month.
I was like, oh shit, I can actually start living off TikTok. That's amazing. I've been posting like 4 or 5 times a day for over a year now.
I could definitely
awesome.
live off that money.
But then here's this month.
Yeah, that's why
What
you
the
can't
fuck,
count
TikTok?
on
I've just put in thousands and thousands of
a
hours
creator
of making
income.
content for you guys. And this is my reward. If you're wondering why you're seeing so many ads on TikTok now, that's because that's the only content they push out. And the only way to get paid now. And one of my posts this month got 1 million views. That was on my other account, and even still, I only made $200 for the whole month over there. 1 million view video back in September would have made me like $1,000. This month, I got 70. Do you know how hard it is to get a post to get 1 million views? With my size following, that might happen once a month, every other month. And that one video will be the majority of my income. Not anymore. Is it time to unionize yet?
Huh. I don't know about creators unionizing. I don't think that is even possible. It's such a widespread, creators are all around the world. It's so hard to, I guess I don't call myself an influencer. This is just basically more of a information channel, but I guess, these creators are all over the world. It would be impossible to unionize, like she's saying. I think. I mean, we barely have unions in the U.S. anymore, which is probably the only country. Well, I guess European countries have unions, but, I belong to a union right now. It's a union in the federal government, but it is basically feckless because if you're a federal worker, it's against the law to strike or anything like that. So if you don't have the power to strike in a union, you basically don't have any power. Like my union really couldn't keep Doge from firing employees last year or anything like that. So, I mean, and it's voluntary, the union. I think you have to sign up for it, like automatically. I remember when I was in high school, I had a job at a grocery store, and I think you automatically got put you had to opt out of the union. And I did, because I was young and I didn't, the pay was so low, I didn't want to pay the union fees, and I didn't understand unions back then. But if I had the opportunity to get into like in New York where I grew up, they have like the pipe fitters union, or like a friend of mine was in the construction union where he ran a jackhammer all the time, but he had great benefits, and he ended up destroying his body from running that jackhammer all the time. And because he was in the union, he got to retire early, and he got all the medical care and treatment. He ended up becoming, he was actually my older brother's friend, so it was years ago. He ended up actually becoming addicted to Oxycontin and died from taking too much of that because he got like unlimited amounts of it. So I guess it's not all great, but if you, a union is like, for instance, I know you guys probably read the story yesterday where Trump, a union worker at the Ford plant in Michigan or Wisconsin or something, yelled at Trump while Trump was visiting. Yeah, Trump's doing the tour now, trying to win back over the working class since he screwed him over with the Epstein files and everything. But this guy yelled him pedophile protector to Trump, which, I mean, he kind of is, right? He's protecting himself mostly, but I think he's also protecting his friends who are, huge pedophiles, because he doesn't, by keeping the Epstein files from coming out and, having Pam Bondi, his, like, she's like his, I don't know, you remember that old movie, Young Frankenstein? She's like his Igor, or Igor. She just, like, does whatever he says. Basically, his command is, his wish is her command. But yeah, so, he's having her slow walk the Epstein files, and Todd Blanche too, his other pet, because he's all over the Epstein files. His good friends are all over the Epstein files. So anyway, this guy called him a pedophile protector, and this guy probably was he looked like a guy who probably voted for Trump, and Trump gave him the finger and told him to fuck off or something like that. So the plant has put him on suspension because they can't fire him because he belongs to the union. And the car makers union, whatever union it is, I can't remember the name of it, is a powerful union, and they cannot just fire you. If he wasn't in that union, Ford could have just fired him and wiped their hands of him. But because he's in that union, he is protected. So unions are, a lot of people don't like unions because of dues and stuff, and then there's the Teamsters Union. What was that guy? I can't remember the guy who was buried under Shea Stadium, who, the Teamsters were run by the mafia, and they, a lot of money was stolen out of the coffers back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. But now, I mean, unions, they still, the union heads are still suspect. They get giant salaries and stuff. They're not perfect, but they definitely, it's better to be in a union than not be in a union for job protection.
I'm telling y'all, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm telling you, as soon as the U.S. took over this TikTok, man, TikTok don't pay you crap. I don't care if you get 1 million views. I don't care how many views you get. They're gonna pay you crap. It doesn't even pay to waste your time to try to earn money on TikTok because you're not getting anything. I mean, the way it was before the U.S. took over, or Oracle or whatever, man, you could get paid pretty decent, but now you're not getting crap. I don't care how many, if you post all month long or what you do, however the algorithm is going, it's not going to benefit you. It's best that I'm telling you.
Hey guys, go ahead and comment. I want to see if my comments actually, or chat with me if you're on now.
Social media apps, because this one is not cutting it, and it's probably not going to last too much longer because nobody's going to keep posting on this app. If they can't earn anything, they'll go to other apps and start posting there. I mean, I don't even understand, how they expect people to even want to keep posting on here to be creators if they just paying you pretty much peanuts. I mean, I it's just ridiculous. And I know I'm not the only one, because I've seen many videos of people complaining about, TikTok payment process now and how little people get money, if anything, off of their, people who had 1 million views and only get like $4 to $10, off of their views. This site is becoming a bunch of crap, and they're using people to make them money, but nobody else is making any money anymore on this app. This app is tired.
Yeah, so I never made much money. I mean, I only have a few videos on TikTok, and I know I saw creators in my space, basically the left news, I guess you'd call us, that were complaining last year about TikTok censoring them a lot because of, if they were talking about, especially like Epstein or Israel. Israel was a big thing. TikTok was, demonetizing videos or even taking them off that spoke of Israel and the corruption with the U.S. government giving money to Israel, and how all our Congress people in the U.S. are basically beholden to Israel. Some Congress people even, they'll do stuff for Israel before they actually do stuff for the people of the U.S., which is a big issue. But we could talk about that another time, or you could comment about it now. So some of the comments on this guy's video, I don't think they care about who stays or leaves this app. They just don't want so many people flourishing financially. The U.S. wants to control how we make income. That's kind of a conspiracy, but I could definitely see that. That's the point, to push you back to work a regular job, control. When they see black people coming up, then the rules change, just like they did IG, Instagram, I guess. They saw black businesses were flourishing, so they immediately messed up the algorithm. That's definitely a conspiracy theory, but I mean, I could see how black people feel like they've been abused for many, many years in the U.S. Y'all didn't learn from Uber. Y'all don't understand how these companies work. If you're not in early, you will always lose. All I do is scroll, and that's all. It's social media, not a full-time job, and let's be real. A lot of influencers don't have content worth paying for honestly. That's true. It should only be for marketing to drive people to your actual business. I would never consider any of these social platforms as a primary means of income. Let's be real. What did y'all expect? I left Creator Rewards. This man had 14 million views and 11 million were disqualified. They are hustling people. I'm just here for fun. It's a waste of time and too draining. I post for fun. Trump stop that he got involved. Trump stop that he got involved because black creators were making money. Our government bought this app to monitor and control us. They didn't buy it for our safety. There is news they don't want us to know about it as well. They are suppressing the truth as much as possible. Yeah, that may be true. Interesting comments. That a lot of those sound like conspiracy theories, but they could be true, and they definitely forced Binance or ByteDance, the Chinese company, to sell it to a company, the Ellisons, Paramount, that is friendly to the Trump administration. So I'm sure they're doing some, monitoring and flagging of videos that are anti-Trump, anti-Epstein, anti-Israel. But, maybe we need a new platform, a free platform, not controlled by corporations. But the problem is, once you get a platform and you start making money on it and you start getting big, the corporations are going to buy it and take control of it, because you, me, or any regular guy that would that could, I don't have the technical know-how to make a platform like this, but I'm sure there are people out there that do. But once you get big enough and some company like Paramount offers you billions of dollars, what are you going to do? Not take it? You're going to take it, right? Because you want to just take care of yourself and your family, and that's it. You're done. You never have to do anything again in your life. I mean, Twitter's Twitter, but that did happen with Twitter, actually, now X. But TikTok, is different because it was started by a Chinese company, and Chinese companies get full backing, big ones, by the Chinese government and lots of help from the Chinese government. So, I don't know how the politics went over there.